house. The historian will tell you the story of why it's called the Brislington, and yeah, it was known as a house and then it was changed by many things, so we'll hear all about it there. We just want to show you the original etching that we have of the card that he had the convicts carve on the brick in memory of his lucky card game.
There.
Oh yeah, there's the diamonds. There was originally 8, and there's been some restoration work on the outside because the lucky card was the 8 of diamonds. And the old well, it's now filled. Now there is a rumour that this house had a tunnel going all the way to the pub underneath. We know John Hodges was a bit of a character that was into a lot of sly grog and other practices, so we'll hear more about his story when we talk to the historian. There's actually a stone here presented by E.A. Box Esquire to the Parramatta District Hospital and erected to the memory of Dr. James Kearney, an unselfish worker for this hospital who practiced his profession in this town for nearly 50 years and whose qualities of heart and mind endeared him to the people. Be a well-wisher by giving a coin to the Parramatta District Hospital. Well, that's something I will have to do.
Oh, original, guys.
Yeah. So this is Brislington House, erected in 1821. The restoration of the surrounds of this building and opening for public use was a joint project between the Board of Parramatta Hospitals and the Parramatta City Council, supported by the Heritage Council of New South Wales, and was officially opened on the 3rd of July 1982 by His Worship the Mayor of the City, Parramatta, Alderman S.C. Dixon. And then you've got all the chairmen. It said it is open to the public, and if you're into history and you live near Parramatta or in New South Wales, recommend you come down and check this place out.
Hey guys.
Hi. This is Fred Hetherington, and he is the chairman of volunteers that run this museum, this hospital museum, and he's going to tell us today the history of John Hodges and his story, and also about the building. So I hope you enjoy. Plus, if you're interested in coming down here to have a tour yourself, please, we'll leave you the contact number and email for the Brislington Museum, and you're more than welcome to contact them. They'd be happy to hear from you.
So, okay, thanks. Our mobile phone number is 04037 64070. Just leave a message and we will get back to you. Our email is info@brislington.net, and we also do have a website, and we also have a Facebook page. So if you just type in Brislington, either Brislington House or Brislington Nursing and Medical Museum, that will take you to us. So would you like me to start
yes.
with
No
the
worries.
story?
Well,
We'd love
you
to
start
hear
the
your
story, and then after that we'll start
Yep.
walking around. So what can you tell us about this place?
Okay, so originally this area where Brislington stands, which is on the corner of George and Marsden Streets in Parramatta, in front of the Western Sydney Trial Courts, which is a little bit ironic considering the history of John Hodges and this area. This area was originally convict housing. And in 1817, a gentleman by the name of John Hodges, we'll use the word gentleman very loosely, who had been transported to Australia for life after he was originally sentenced to death at the Old Bailey. He won £1,000 in gold at the Woolpack Hotel, which is on the other side of the street directly from us. They moved the Woolpack diagonally a lot later, but he won £1,000 in gold. He bought a quarter-acre block of land and he built Brislington House. And the reason he did that was he was told that if he wanted to have a pub license or hotel license in Parramatta, he had to own a house of substantial gain. So, he built this house. He didn't personally build it, he employed people. And this house was completed in 1821. And as you will see in the shots that have gone round on the outside, he actually had the builder put 8 black diamond shapes in the back wall. Unfortunately, only 6 survive, to commemorate that he'd won his £1,000 with the 8 of diamonds playing euchre. And there was a story in the local newspaper in 1817 about his winnings. So that's where we get that bit of interest from. So, just over here.
Yep. What I'm going to do, guys, I'm going to turn the camera around and we'll keep talking. So
Yeah.
he'll explain everything as we go.
And we'll just show you around.
Okay, so if we swing round to the front door, this building has state heritage listing, and several of the reasons that it's on the state heritage roster is the doorway and the front door. But yes, it has been painted, but in heritage colours repainted. But basically, all your glass, it's the original glass.
Wow.
We're not quite sure about the name of one of the reds in this glass. We've all had many conversations, but it's from 1820, 1821. And then if you swing round this way past me and you go up the staircase, this is the original staircase. So all that's been done to this
This carpet.
is it's been carpeted. All right. And you can see, just see how big all these are. You know, this is how solid. So remember, this house
Beautiful.
is 202 years old. Hi, you're back with me, and we're in what we call the colonial room. And that's because just about all the artifacts here are from the colonial era. And if you swing the camera around to my left in the corner, we actually have the story of John Hodges. And the Woolpack Hotel, and we also have, down in this folder, we actually have in the back of this folder a transcript of John Hodges' trial. Now, one of our volunteers here thinks that John was a lovable character. I refer to him as a colourful character, right? So he was born in 1782. He was tried in 1805 at the Old Bailey, sentenced to death, which was then commuted to transportation for life. In between that, he ended up on the prison hulks. So I don't know if people are aware that in the 18th and 19th century, ships that were no longer seaworthy were used as prisons.
Wow.
They were moored in the Thames estuary, and that's where they put prisoners in. Unfortunately, the conditions were horrific, and there was something about like a 40 to 50% fatality rate, because diphtheria and all these
imagine the
things
germs.
just typhoid went straight through.
Wow.
So He came to Australia. After he was here for about a year, he didn't really like it. Stowed away on a whaler, and all this information is on our board. He and the gentleman he stowed away with were caught one day from Timor. Unluckily for them, there was a ship coming to Australia, and there was a ship-to-ship transfer. So can you imagine how dodgy that would have been in 1809, right? Basically throwing ropes and putting you across. Came back to Australia, thought he'd better make the best of a bad job. He got a job as a gardener at what we call now Old Government House. It was Government House in those days. And he sort of knuckled down. He ended up getting his ticket of leave by dubious means. He actually hired a horse and cart and a driver from somebody he knew, offered it to be used when they were going over the Blue Mountains, and for that he got a ticket of leave. He finally got his full pardon later, but it was all rather dodgy. And as people say to me, but in those days in Australia most things were dodgy because you had a lot of very dodgy people. So 1817 he won £1,000 in gold and he had this place built. So we
It's amazing.
we then skip on a bit in John Hodges. See, we lived here. There was rumoured to be a tunnel between here and the original Woolpack under what is now Marsden Street, somewhere down in the cellar. Unfortunately, you can't get into the cellar because I'm sure when you walked around you had a look. The foundation.
I did see the door,
You saw the
but I
cellar.
saw the diamonds.
But the foundations are not terribly crash hot, not like nowadays where you've got to go very, very deep, etc. So he set about trying to have a pub, but he was involved in illegal grog, prostitution, and money lending. Again, not unusual for the day. He got caught. He and one of his manservants stealing a slab of sandstone from the government quarry, which was destined for the hospital, which is a couple of 100 metres up towards the river. And he was tried, found guilty, ended up in jail, and the government took possession of this building.
Oh wow. So hey, I'm in St Patrick's Cemetery, and for my Irish friends that are watching, happy St Patrick's Day. Now the reason I'm here is because John Hodges from the Brislington House is buried in this cemetery, and I thought we'd explore this place while we're here. So it's an old cemetery. It's one of the earliest colonised Catholic cemetery, and it was established in 1824, and it was in use until 1972, I think. But it's got a lot of fascinating old graves here to show you, and also the old mortuary. So I'll show you that. Follow me. So here's the gates. Original gates. And they've been painted up and cleaned up now. Isn't that beautiful? They're really trying to preserve this historical cemetery, and I won't show you the workers. They're doing up the gardens and weeding and so forth, but they're really doing what they can to preserve this history, and it's just beautiful. It's full of trees, and you know, it's really a pretty cemetery. And up ahead you can see we're heading towards the original morgue, the morgue to the cemetery morgue, and it was established in 1844. So I'll take you up to that soon. So we might read some of these headstones. Look at the beautiful fences around them. And a lot of the volunteers here do a lot of hard work, excuse the traffic. And this is sacred to the memory of James Garvey, who died, not quite sure. No, it says 60 years, 18, I'm not sure what that is. Also Matilda Garvey, wife of the above, who died April 1861. And that's pretty blurry again, so sorry guys. And then we've got some more. Look at this gorgeous tombstone up here. It's massive. Obviously a family vault. A big pillar. Excuse the traffic again. And it's sacred to the memory of Maria, the beloved wife of James Campbell, who departed this life and is now remembered. 1850, aged only 18 years. May she rest in peace. Mary, loving remembrance of Mary Ann Ashby, relict of the late Thomas Ashby, died the 6th of December. I'm not sure what that is. 1891, I think he is. Aged 77 years. But yeah. It's a beautiful family vault, and they've got the high fence. You got the gorgeous trying to watch out for spider webs, and it's long grass here guys. Still hot season. We're going through a heat wave in Sydney, so I'm just watching where I'm treading. This is an old vault here, but looks like it's too weathered for me to be able to read it. I'll just get out from under this tree because there's a lot of spiders. Vault. All the graves here. Such a beautiful cemetery, and I'd love to spend longer here, but I'll just read what I can. So we're coming up to the morgue now, so we'll walk up to it and we'll show you inside. Amazing, isn't it? You can just imagine in the older days when they brought the coffins up here until the service the next day. So we're at the old mortuary. As you can see, it's just a stunning old cemetery. Beautiful old tombstones here. And it's just gorgeous with the old trees and stuff. Now the fascinating thing about this mortuary, let's go and have a sticky beak inside. It was built, or responsible for the building was a Reverend Dean Coffey, and he was buried here underneath the floor in 1857. And there's another 4 priests that are buried under the floor of the mortuary as well. And I'll give you a better look at the building outside. And that's it there. They're gorgeous. And I'll read up here. And it says, I'll try and zoom in for you. Dedicated to the glory of God under the patronage of Francis of Assisi after death, 1811. So this mortuary here, I'll zoom back out again, was built in dedication of Francis of Assisi, patron saint. Isn't that beautiful? I'll walk around it. So if there is traffic or anything like that, I do apologise. We're in the middle of Parramatta City, and this is the last historical cemetery in Parramatta. We've already covered Maze Hill, All Saints Cemetery, and also St John's, where the First Fleeters are. So we might start by reading some of the tombstones here. Some of these on the ground are no longer legible. They're very, very weathered. And silly me, didn't bring my torch. I can read these along the wall here. And that says, to the memory of Jane Boyd, native of Cork Island, who departed this life at the, I think it's 23rd of August. It looks like 18, maybe something, 18, 19 or something, aged only 34. And here we have, oh, isn't it gorgeous? We've got the clasped hands and the ivy. The ivy is eternal, means afterlife, and the clasped hands is greeting God in heaven. Sometimes it can be a married couple greeting each other on the other side. But the ivy stands for eternal. This is in loving memory of our dear brother James Kinane, who departed this life October 7th, 1912, aged 47, native of County Clare, Ireland. Also Cecil Leo, nephew of the above, died September 15th, 1893, only aged 6. Martin Kinane, brother of above, he drowned at Manly October the 27th, 1914, aged 44. Sweet Jesus Mercy. Also Michael Kinane, brother and father above, died 21st of November 1939, aged 77 years. Also Margaret, beloved wife of above, died the 18th of December 1939, aged 77 years. Also Leslie Michael Kinane, beloved husband of Emily and fond father of Jack, Bill and Helen, died 14th of October 1943, aged 53. Rest in peace. So that would have been quite a family plot then. So here we've got a lovely old tombstone here. Look at the designs on it. And this is a memory of Philip Hogan, who departed this life the 23rd of May 1829, aged 63. How loved and valued once was thee, to whom related, or by whom begot, a heap of drift alone remains of thee. I'm not very good at this, am I? But you know, I just love the old writing. I find it so interesting. So I'll step back so you can kind of see the tombstone. So we'll keep walking, and yeah, hope everybody's been well. It's so good to be back again. Like I said, we had our cars off the road, unfortunately, and Jason changed jobs. This last one wasn't being very helpful. They'd cut his shifts from the pandemic and they cut it to virtually nothing. So last year was a bit of a challenge, and started a new one, which is really great. It's working lots of hours, so I'm here by myself today. But yeah, sometimes you go through periods of your life where you have to take a break. But I sincerely missed you all, and it's just so good to be back doing what I love. I do this for love, and I'm just pleased that so many people enjoy it. So here we are facing that beautiful vault again. So we're on the outskirts of the cemetery, and you can see we're quite next to a busy road, so I do apologise for any of the traffic noise, but I just was fascinated in this big grave. Look at the gorgeous fence around it. It'd obviously be a family plot, but I'll come up to it and so we can read it. Okay. And if I can find any interesting history or photos about the people I'm reading, I'll enclose that too. So, I don't know if you can read it. But it says, in loving memory of Robert Power, died the 25th of September, 1891, age 58. By his soul rest. Also, Elizabeth, beloved wife, who died in 1912, age 77, and Mary Josephine, and she was only 27. So yeah, beautiful big plot. It's just so many gorgeous stones I want to read, but I will do my best and yeah, read a few, and then I'll have to call it a day. Look at this one with the children or the angels, their arms entwined. That's just fascinating, that is. What a beautiful headstone. And that's sacred to the memory of John Kennedy. Died October, looks like 3rd or 30th, 1862, age 72. Also Catherine, wife of the above, died November 21st, 1874, and she was 69. And the rest of the writing's quite faded, but yeah, that's just gorgeous. The two angels with the scroll. That is amazing. I love that. I just think they're all hand carved, and you've even got like the vine leaves here, and then little angels on the top. It's quite beautiful. Beautiful. Oh, rest in peace. We'll go and explore a few more. Don't know where to go. You know, I really love old cemeteries, and I just never know where to start when I get in one, because they're all amazing. Okay, you got the memory of Bridget Shee, who departed this life October 1882 or 62, age 48. Also her sister Mary Mulcahy, obviously Irish, who who died July, not sure, aged. Oh, it's very, very faded, guys. It looks like 80. So, yeah. Now, I know some of them that are buried here come from the work factory, also settled, freed convicts that had settled in the area, and also some from the children's orphanages as well, but a lot of them would be an unmarked grave. So a lot of the ones here that have tombstones would be the settlers in the area. Okay, I've come across an interesting one. You can no longer read his stone, but it says, "Here lies the remain of Mr. Hugh O'Donnell, who departed this life 25th of May 1834, aged 66. Born in Sligo Island in 1769, Captain Hugh O'Donnell, so called by his mates after 32 years as a private in Governor Macquarie's 73rd Regiment of Foot Soldiers. Arrived on HMS Anne, 28th of the 2nd, 1810. Later lived with wife Mary Lakeman and 9 children on farm at Dog Trap, now Woodville Road, Parramatta." Yeah. I'm so glad that the descendants have given us that plaque so we can always remember him. Yeah, some of the older ones here. Oh, this one I was reading about. Look at his beautiful headstone. This is such a sad story. Samuel Barley, son of... I didn't bring my torch, so forgive me. I'm not sure. But whom is unfortunate to drown in an open well on his parents' premises the day of October 1831. Aged only 3 years and 17 months. The well having been left uncovered by a careless female servant who was in charge of the unfortunate invalid, who was a beautiful, promising child. That is so sad. Yeah. But I was reading about his grave and I was hoping to come across it, so I'm glad I have, but it kind of gives me a heavy heart to think of such a beautiful, innocent young child drowning. I hate hearing about children dying. So here we've got, in memory of John Barker, eldest son of Francis and Elizabeth Barker, who died the 12th of January 1876, only aged 2 years and 2 months. Also James Patrick Barker, their youngest son, who died the 27th of June 1959, aged 78, deserted by his loving children. Like that. It's faded here, but you can kind of read this one because families put another plaque on it, and it's in loving memory of Josephine's son, Thomas and Teresa Barker, who died the 23rd of September, only 7 months. Also Thomas, the beloved son of Annie and Thomas Barker, who departed this life November 1880. Let me just look at the gorgeous angel. I do love looking at the designs on the tombstones. They're just beautiful. Okay, as you can see, there's so many to read. but I've only got so much time in here, and I'm coming early in the morning. One, before the snakes come out, and two, just finished work at 6 a.m. so I thought I'd do some filming down here. But look at this gorgeous one. I'm going to zoom up to it because it's just amazing. This light doesn't give it justice, but kind of looks like Jesus, maybe one of his disciples, or someone begging for forgiveness, but that'd be all hand carved in sandstone. It's just fascinating. It's beautiful. And that is sacred to the memory of Francis Mary MacDonald, who died September 12th, 1871. And then you've got Arthur John McBrien, and it has faded quite a bit. And you've got Mary O'Brien down here, but maybe the camera will pick it up a lot clearer. Just keep it there in case it is, and maybe you can work it out what it's saying. But just look at the design again. That's amazing. I love that. So here is the grave, or the vault, of John Hodges. This is erected to the memory of John Hodges, departed this life on the 14th of June 1849, aged 67 years. May he rest in peace. Now this was erected in his memory by the volunteers on the 200th anniversary on the construction of Brislington House. It was known as the house when he owned it, and he was the original owner of that two-storey house, and he won it in a lucky card game. And reason being, like the historian mentioned, he wanted a publican license, and the only way he could get that if he owned a substantial property in the area. So he had the convicts build it and had them put the winning card, which was the 8 of diamonds, in brickwork around the house. And yeah, and 6 of the diamonds still, you can still see them, but obviously when they've tried to preserve it and reconstruct it, they've had to 2 of the diamonds no longer can be seen. But that's fascinating, and I hope you're enjoying this episode. This one says, sacred to the memory of Catherine, the beloved wife of Thomas Connor, who died the 10th of April 1855, aged 57 years. Also Thomas Connor, husband of the above, who died 12th of June 1860, aged 60 years. What a beautiful little angel on top. That's what I love about the old headstones. They really put a lot of craftsmanship into them. And we'll see what else we can find. Like I said, I'm just careful where I tread. Still snake season here in Australia. I see lots of lizards running around, but yes, I don't particularly want to run into anything like that. This one says, sacred to the memory of Anne Wilkinson, died the 11th of June 1846, aged only 38. As I said, it was harsh times back then, and if you lived to your 40s, you considered to live to age well lived. It's kind of scary now, isn't it? Because I'm already in my 50s. So I would have been considered a fossil. And look at this beautiful angel's face. And the beautiful carving of the flowers around her. She's just so pretty. And this one's in memory of Stephen Kelly, who died, not sure what that is, maybe June 17th, 1871, aged 7 years and 3 months. Also Mary, sister of the above, who died April 1867, only 5. Also Bridget, she was 77, so she must have been the mother. How awful to lose her children at, in her life. That would have been horrible. And then we've got in loving memory of our dear son and brother, John Veach Kelly, died the 17th of November 1925, aged 27 and 9 months. Sweet Jesus mercy. Also Martin Kelly, father of the above, died the 27th of September 1928, aged 68. Rest in peace. Also Martin Kelly, son of the above, died 13th of January 1938, aged 52. Some of these headstones are in really good condition, but other ones, they just haven't stood the time with all the elements. This one I can't read, but I'll show you the beautiful pillar tombstone, the column. And as we know, with a strong column like that, it's a person that's lived a full long life. So just thought I'd share that. But yeah, I think I'll make that last one. Alright guys, so might read a couple of more and then I'll wrap this up. It's getting a bit hot and it's time for me to go home and rest. So I might zoom this up. This one here, the design on the top. Hope you can see that clearly. It's loving memory to Dennis Murphy, who died August the 29th, 1873, age 58. Also Ellen Murphy, who died November the 28th, 1881, aged 50 years. John Murphy, son of the above, who died July the 27th, 1885, age 44. Also Nicholas Barry Murphy, who died, son of the above. Wow, but I do love the design on it. Oh wow, and then you've got the little one with the hand touching the fence over here. But I can't read it really well. Such gorgeous ones. I'll try and zoom up because the sun's not being my friend at the moment, so it's another sign I'll probably have to go. Well, I hope you enjoyed the history of the house, Brislington Museum, and the story of John Hodges, and exploring this lovely St Patrick's Catholic cemetery with me. If you like history and you like exploring cemeteries as much as I do, consider subscribing to my channel, as I will be putting new adventures out every week. So hopefully everybody has a good week, and I'll see you next time. Take care.